Made you want to create the Duke of Edinburgh's award scheme?
I didn't want to create it. Believe it. He said, my boy, I want you to start an award scheme. I said, thanks very much.
It'd be quite easy to claim that this was all part of some deep-laid scheme. But I'm afraid I have to admit that it all came about because I was asked to start off the Olympic Games in Melbourne, where I made, if I may say so, the best speech of my life, which is exactly 5 words. I declare open the Olympic Games of Melbourne, celebrating the 16th Olympiad of the modern era.
Media is a professional intruder. It wouldn't work if it did. That's what it's doing all the time. So you can't complain about it. You get a bit anxious.
This is what you specifically object.
Well, I don't know what this is about.
It was a quote, I think, appeared on television that you suggested to a chap with one of these things how he might dispose of it during a private conversation.
I'm delighted he took it down. I hope he did it. Tree huggers, bunny hugger. Any signs of intelligence? Well, so what? Is that a yacht? I mean, they're not going to do a song and dance for him. World's most experienced plaque unveiler. World's greatest expert in plaque unveiling. I've been here before and opened practically every other building. And if you go on doing this, you're going to have to change the name of the college. Oh, Lord, is this locked too? You've locked us into this place. The thing that begins to worry me is you've got no excuse to die anymore. There's one thing about children going to school. They go to school because their parents don't want them in the house. The famous story, of course, is that an American tourist was heard to say, well, why did they build the castle so close to London Airport?
No. Yeah, but it's his dog, you see. It's so cruel.
I am.
You're sponging on him.
Absolutely, he's sponging off me.
Now the Duke's former headmaster and the Dean of the Faculty of Law gave official permission to hit him
on the head with a blow that can bring no malice, for the instrument of authority which you use will confer upon him the degree of Doctor of Laws.
The Queen and the Duke certainly do seem particularly at ease here. It was the Duke himself who decided that they should spend the actual day of their anniversary on Malta for this very private of public couples. Quite a romantic gesture.
Finish? Is that a yacht?
How important was fatherhood to you compared with being the Queen's consort? Was it something you were conscious of, a role you were conscious of fulfilling?
No. I mean, I was a father. Like all families, we went through the full range of pleasures and tribulations of bringing up children. I'm naturally somewhat biased, but I think our children have done rather well under very difficult and demanding circumstances. We tend to let each member of the family get on with whatever lunacy they feel like indulging in. I had to bribe them across. I sent my groom across the other side on a jar of sugar, which he shook it. He decided to get their feet wet. But I had a stupid accident here, for instance.
The Duke was competing in the hazard section when he had this spill. He just crossed a bridge when he appeared to lose control of the ponies.
Oh, you idiot!
And the wheel went over it, and I got pitched out completely.
As he took a sharp left turn, the Duke was thrown.
Oops, over the top. Easy.
Good morning,
Wet
sir.
brakes. Morning.
May I interrupt you?
Do,
Just for a minute to come up and talk to you. As well as the skill of actually driving, there must be an awful lot of gamesmanship to be mastered as well, and there must be a lot of tricks of the trade that all the
Really
drivers...
wouldn't know what you mean.
Oh, you idiot!
I think there is a romantic, sentimental streak to Prince Philip, but he is passionate about not letting us see it.
That's what we've been doing. Sorry? That's what we've been doing.
The disaster is commemorated in the family's private chapel with a new stained glass window designed by the Prince himself.
I thought, well, why not have the fire? The bottom part is a sort of tribute to the firefighters, and these are the people, you know, rescuing all the pictures of me. And I thought it'd be fun to put smoke sort of turning into trees with the castle emerging at the top. Britannia was rather special as far as we were concerned because we were involved from the very beginning, so it's really rather a wrench to see her go.
What were your feelings when the Royal Yacht was decommissioned?
Sad.
Do you think it was the right thing to do?
No. Bloody idiot. I toyed with the idea of going to the RAF, but my uncle persuaded me to try the Navy. And I had to sit the civil service exam to get into as a special entry cadet. Went to Dartmouth in '39, I think.
How difficult was it to relinquish it when the Queen acceded to the throne?
Well,
Well, come on.
I mean, how long's a piece of string? I don't know how difficult it was.
Was it difficult?
Well, it was naturally disappointing because I'd just been promoted to commander. And in fact, the most interesting part of a naval career was just starting. But then equally, if I stopped and thought about it, being married to the Queen, it seemed to me that my first duty was to serve her in the best way I could.
Philip, to become your liege man of life and limb, and of earthly worship, and faith and truth I will bear unto you, to live and die against all manner of folk, so help me God.
All too often, I fear Prince Philip has had to listen to me speaking. Someone who doesn't take easily to compliments, but he has quite simply been my strength and stay all these years. And I and his whole family, and this and many other countries, owe him a debt greater than he would ever claim, or we shall ever know.
After 50 years of experience, I find there's a great temptation to give advice. The trouble is that no two marriages are quite alike. However, I think that the main lesson that we've learned is that tolerance is the one essential ingredient of any happy marriage. It may not be quite so important when things are going well, but it is absolutely vital when things get difficult. And you can take it from me that the Queen has the quality of tolerance and abundance.
The Duke has separate engagements elsewhere, and he's running late. But he still needs permission to leave.
We're running half an hour late. Mind if I go on? Because I've got to get to... We'll go ahead. I had 4 sisters, and so we lived in quite a small house, just outside Paris. And I went to an American sort of child school, or whatever you call it.
Were you French-speaking then, or English-speaking?
French and English, yes. No, we had an English nanny, and the family spoke about 4 languages. You got a bit confused, because when you started off a conversation in English, and then somebody couldn't remember the word, so they said it in French. So it went on in French, and then they thought, well, like, what's the word? And then it in Greek. And then it went into Greek, and they went into German. Das müssen wir nach Rot haben.
We greet you all with your own motto, Cymru am Bydd.
The new Chancellor's first act was to confer on Princess Elizabeth the honorary degree of Doctor of Music. Speaking in Welsh, he said the court was pleased to admit her to a doctorate.
Algamor Reither, Dagana Fleece, der Werbin am Feuter.
Ich möchte nur Ihnen herzlich danken für Ihr Willkommen hier und zu sagen, dass ich sehr glücklich und sehr froh bin, dass ich wieder hier in Frankfurt Besuch machen kann. Nachdem ich heute Rügen ein wenig kennengelernt habe, muss ich feststellen, dies ist eine Insel, auf der ich mich auch zu Hause fühlen konnte.
He came to stay with us in our little cottage, where he signs Philip. And he wrote under address, no fixed abode, which